Well, we were kind of young and naive, and
Well, I'm working for NewPush for like 5 years.
For 2.5 years.
It has been 3 years from now.
I was introduced to Balazs by one of my account managers.
I joined NewPush in 2022.
Since 2021.
I've been working here for 8 years now.
I call him Big B through my Crypto Academy program.
I originally met NewPush as a client of NewPush.
I started working for NewPush about 4 months ago in August.
I was initially introduced to Balazs by a friend.
I heard about NewPush through friends.
Actually, I know Balazs for more than 30 years.
we were a bunch of engineers working at a consulting firm. You know, it was a dot-com boom era. Everybody was thinking of startups and creating. So it was clear to us that we want to do something.
I had an interview with Balazs, the owner of NewPush, and we had a discussion about the platform they were building, which was kind of revolutionary at that time.
I wanted to join NewPush actually because of Balazs mostly. Balazs is a very generous person.
I was looking for a job, and actually I was hesitating, but when he came up with names like social engineers, I know that that company might be good for me.
And he just kind of is ready to unlock the potential of other people.
This was already like 99, so the domain name game was already well underway, so domains were taken left and right. And so push.com was taken, pushinc.com was taken, and I say, well, we're the NewPush.
I really met good people that as a mentors that helped me to grow my career and gave me the experience.
Twice a year we have team building sessions that I like a lot because we can get together and have fun together. We don't have an office, so all our job is online basically. And we have co-workers around the whole world. I like these occasions because we can meet personally, and it's very important.
Well, as we were brainstorming, we noticed that large enterprises had access to technology in a way that was not available for a small and middle enterprise.
Spent a lot of time and deployed a lot of people to help our client to address this problem.
We just thought it was a gap in the market, and we wanted to take care of the, as we call it in the US, the SMB market, or as they call it in the UK, the SME market, so the small and middle ground.
But there had to be a better way of doing that. And that's where NewPush came in, and they were teaming with Brainwave and really brought us a great solution.
I'd say even before we figured our own path, he founded NewPush and I founded my own company. There was always the will to do something together.
Obviously, I love the domain, cybersecurity and all that, but it wasn't so much the technology, it was the people and passion. And that is what brought me over the finish line to join NewPush.
He instantly came up with a bunch of expressions, Reaganian expressions. So from Ronald Reagan's time, he liked to say, trust but verify, put pen to paper.
It's an all hands on deck. No bureaucracy, it's all hands on deck because there needs to be.
We just wanted to serve, all those businesses. They turn out to be responsible for 80% of the business flow in the US. So the small, medium-sized businesses are very significant to the economy. It didn't make sense from a technology perspective for them being left behind. What the cloud brought is even more challenges in cybersecurity. So we naturally evolved over the last 5 years towards cybersecurity and the different pillars of that.
The more difficult you can make it, the more likely it is an attacker is going to say, this is too much work, I'm going to go somewhere else. And the visibility that NewPush and its products brings is really a huge advantage to companies.
In terms of security concerns, now you have a presence outside of your perimeter where your workloads are.
We also evolved with these changing technologies. Cloud kind of democratized technology.
So you need to make sure that your cloud security is also equally robust.
And then, so that was a milestone where we understood that, it's not about, selling something. It's about building relationships and getting the relationship to the level that you can make a sale or make a transaction with the people, because you can truly help them.
The mathematical and technical accuracy and love to detail, together with the most simple way to implement something, that makes the genius of it.
The insights that we are collecting from the logs and everything translates into very easy to understand and actionable dashboards for executives.
We landed a larger managed billing services deal with a telco in the Denver area. That was one of our breaks. We ended up being one of the largest bandwidth consumers in a data center.
I believe that the aspects of cybersecurity, as we understand them today, will be much, much deeper rooted within the whole of society.
Cybersecurity, I think, as we see most painful in political and diplomatic discussion, is probably from the angle of disinformation.
So I have a visual for you. So imagine, we're sitting here in a city and there would be Russian green berets parachuting.
Digital is just an invisible representation of the physical. And so when you're looking at security, you're going to look at it in the same way.
And imagine that the government would say, well, actually, you have to train every day. You have to go to the shooting range and you have to buy your own Kalashnikov.
If we have maybe a part of the installation that's under attack or a part of the installation that could be at risk, then you're going to want to quarantine that area.
And by the way, we will verify that you have a Kalashnikov in your storage and that you go and train every week to shoot the Kalashnikovs.
And cybersecurity does a lot of the same thing. Like once a computer gets infected, how do I secure it? How do I isolate it from affecting the other computers that are on my network?
Or whatever, M16s, doesn't matter what brand, but a rifle. And if that was mandated by the government, everybody would be appalled. They would be like, well, wait a minute, what's the army for? Isn't the army to defend us? It is understood that against real weapons, the government needs to protect the population. Against cyber weapons, they're just as real. They're in the cyberspace.
Oh, there's a multiplicity of challenges. And I think that's the point, that there's so many levels and so many avenues through which cybersecurity has to be understood and managed and tackled.
That's the one role of government that I think everyone can agree on, no matter what side of the aisle you are, that the army, the military, the protection of your borders, that's the role of the government. I think everyone across the aisle agrees on that. So it's time to do that in cyber warfare.
Well, after the military, I did kind of a lot of security jobs, for example. And in the security jobs, I was just kind of bored.
What happened along the way, though, is that we kind of stumbled into the higher education market, but we also were always passionate about higher education. So we kind of seized that opportunity and became experts in securing institutions.
You know, there's this saying, especially in the military, that everything is boring until it's not. And that is very true in things like law enforcement and security. And you spend a lot of time just kind of sitting on your hands and looking for stuff until you don't. And then all of a sudden, it's like life and death in a heartbeat kind of thing.
Our first joint customer is actually a customer in the US that NewPush brought to us. NewPush identified that this customer had some issues around identity and access management.
On an average year, we're protecting 1 million students, multiple campuses all across the world. We've operated on pretty much every continent except China and Japan. So everywhere else, we had schools that we protected at one point or another.
Together, we built what was really, at the time, I believe, the first worldwide managed service offering for user access reviews and compliance.
5 years ago, Chilo was helping organize the 20th anniversary of NewPush. And I was thinking, wow, that's a long time. What's going to happen for 25? Are we going to be even around? A small business, you never know. So humbling, to be there and having had that long road and having started so many. And let me cut into that cake with a 25 on it. It's a huge deal for me. And from the bottom of my heart, a big thank you to everybody.
25 years later, we're still NewPush. That was an amazing day. It was probably one of the best days of the last 25 years. So we had our second or third symposium, depending how you count it. Reka counted 3.
So I'm very happy that we could work together at this conference now in Budapest. And I am very excited to find ways to continue to work together as much as I can to support this work that I see to be profoundly important for our common future.
We are talking to many customers. Of course, they use different terminology. They call it CI/CD pipelines, improving speed to market, are introducing better disciplines in their pipeline called SRE, Site Reliability Engineering.
Some people joke, aren't you old push now? And then, I'm 53, so 25 years old is young for me, so.
NewPush Labs is an infrastructure framework, if I can say, a home lab framework for everyone, from students to IT consultants.
All of those things, and cybersecurity, of course, can be encapsulated in these easy to stand up stacks that NewPush Labs framework can facilitate.
Quickly spin up your workloads and play with it within minutes or half an hour. It's radically faster than deploying your environments manually.
And we had fantastic guests, from government officials through ambassadors, all the way to experts in cybersecurity and AI. And I just couldn't believe it that so many very, very well-known and respected people came to our event and enjoyed it. That was amazing.